You've written a research paper and on who profits from bank rescues in the EU. So who has been profiting from bank rescues?
Mainly the big four auditing firms, Ernst & Young, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte and KPMG, and a field group of financial global consultancy firms like Lazard.
The Commission have introduced a lot of legislation over the years to deal with the crisis. Have we dealt with those issues? For example, you're talking about bailout. Well, now we've got bail-in, we've got resolution organisations. So should we be concerned? Should we move on? Those are the problems of the past.
Well, we don't believe it's a problem of the past. So far, 213 billion euros has been permanently lost as a result of the bailouts, and this has created huge pressures on the social services of the European Union that usually are blamed on migrants or refugees. And we have elections in 3 European countries this year, so it's good that voters recall the cost of the bailouts. In relation to the legislation, it's true that some important pieces of legislation have been implemented. For instance, now audit firms cannot provide audit and not audit firms to the same clients, as it has happened with big scandals like Bankia in Spain. And also we have a banking union. Indeed, now bail-in can be a positive development. Still, we see as a worrisome development that we have institutionalized the idea of bailing out banks as a normal policy issue.
Is it likely that we'll need a further bailout? With all the provisions that have been put in place, is this even going to be an issue?
Well, it's being an issue. Only last December we saw the bailout of Banca di Piaci in Italy for the cost of 8 billion euros. We had some discussions in the summer about the possible bailout of Deutsche Bank for 150 billion. So we do believe it's a timely issue, and we will see more cases in the past, and with this report we can check how is this process happening. There is a lot of money put into this business of bailing out banks, and we need to understand better the mechanisms.
What can we do to make the system better?
We should be able to manage our financial and banking affairs democratically. We believe public institutions should have the tools to raise their own solutions and not depending on the private consultants, as it has been happening now. For instance, with the banking union, the ECB has relied on external consultants for its mandate on supervision. The stress tests, for instance, are carried out by the same companies making a huge profit with the bailouts in the European Union. We believe we should promote public banks as a first step towards strengthening the public capacity of our societies to manage our financial affairs. Banking and finance are increasingly important in our complex societies. Member states of the European Union rely on banks to pay salaries to the civil servants, to pay pensions and employment benefits. Why the services should be provided by private actors and not by public banks? Public banks were a normal feature in the EU economy only 20 years ago, and we should think seriously on in strengthening our capacity to build public banks and manage our.
Would we lose out those efficiency benefits of the private sector if we went public?
Well, we see that this idea that the private sector is always more efficient is not completely true. If we see how the finance sector actually collapsed after decades of deregulation and believing that self-regulation by the private sector was enough, we see how actually the private sector is not always more efficient. So bearing that in mind, we should think seriously on the promotion of public banks and public institutions to manage our banking system.